has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, right? Like, are we tripping? But like last year, Caitlin Clark, the buzz for the women's tournament was gigantic. And now I think their tournament starts tomorrow, and no one cares at all.
No one cares at all. They have their first four. You're right. Tomorrow night, they start their first four. And then obviously their first round gets going on Friday. But what a difference a year makes. I mean, last year, it was just tons of buzz. You know why, whether people like it or not, because of Caitlin Clark. And now this year, I didn't even tell you who's the one seed in the women's tournament. I don't even know.
They had that unrivaled championship last night, and I saw some kind of thing this morning. Listen, so this morning on Good Morning America, they like featured it, and there was like they had Robin Roberts there. They had it in Miami, and all these chicks won a bunch of money and everything else, and no one gives a rat's ass about that either. I mean, like, I never watched 1 second of that. And I mean, honestly, I went to better high school girls playoff games than watching that stuff on TV. And let me tell you something else. I know this sounds mean, but the Caitlin Clark thing, I actually enjoyed it when she was at Iowa. And now I could give a rat's ass about her summertime fling with the WNBA. You can have that too. And you can blame me all you want. Call me whatever you want. Like, I'm too cool for it. I really am. I'm too cool to watch it. I am.
Look,
I don't waste my time.
It is what it is.
You can say whatever. Hate me all you want. Send me your vitriol. Blame me for everything. I'm a grown man. I'm 40.
Zero interest whatsoever.
Plus 20.
Whenever that starts. Let's get to tonight. Zero interest. Let's get to tonight.
Juju's playing. Come on.
Right. USC, right?
USC.
I saw their coach.
It's going to be fantastic. Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be an incredible experience, and everyone should get involved. And I'm sure that there's a lot of analysts here that'll have it all figured out, all the brackets and all the best bets to make on the women's side here on the grid.
The only thing I hope that happens in that tournament is I hope UConn wins, only because it seems to bother everybody when they do. Everyone mad when Gino wins again. So I hope they win again, and I'm sure that they won't. Tonight, first four.
I'm rooting for Notre Dame.
I would love to see Notre Dame win. They've won a couple of years back, so I wouldn't mind.
Hidalgo, what's her name?
I don't know. No idea. No idea.
We're just horrible people. What do you mean?
I guess so. I guess so. First four in Dayton is where I will. Ooh.
It is Hidalgo. I got it right.
All right, there you go.
I don't know her first name. My obvious microphone.
All right. Let's go. This is what we are in on. North Carolina and the Aztecs tonight, first four. Now, this is the second game, but it's going first because for us, it's the more important game. Let's go. Let's start with North Carolina head coach Hubert Davis. Now, we always love when coaches do this, Scotty. This is our favorite. Here's another coach who's going to try to sell you that he hasn't heard any of the bad stuff that's been said about his team that they don't deserve to be here over the last 36 hours. He hasn't heard any of it. Here's Hubert Davis.
I don't have any thoughts, and I'm not on social media. So in regards to those comments, that would be negligent on my part to comment on something I've never read or never heard. And so I'm not on. I didn't listen to bracketology. I didn't listen after our name was selected on CBS. I didn't listen to the telecast. I haven't listen to anybody's comments in regards to
what do you get, a text? Coach,
selection, seedings.
He's living in an igloo.
I know that we're really excited to be a part of this, and we're looking forward to tomorrow night.
Please.
Whatever, dude. I'm too busy. I don't know anything that's going on in the world. What, there were tornadoes in Alabama?
Yeah, well, I mean, like, he's like, we didn't watch the CBS show. We didn't watch it. Yeah, so we got a text. Probably from, you know what? He didn't need to watch the CBS show because Bubba probably texted him.
Bubba.
The chair of the committee probably texted him, don't need to watch, Hubert. We got you, baby. You're in.
And I got another $110,000 for it. Thanks.
Oh, jeez. On the other side, of course,
how about DeCourcy telling us what a great guy he is when everyone hates him dead?
He's a great, just a great guy.
I'm glad he knows him and loves him. I don't.
Everybody loves Bubba. Everybody loves you. Everybody loves everybody.
Everyone always loves Bubba's. Bubba's like, well, if you got a nickname of Bubba, you got so many friends.
Here is the head coach of the Aztecs. Of course,
I got a friend named Bubba. Bubba the Love Sponge. I love Bubba.
The Dutch Oven. Brian Dutcher knows that the Aztecs have their hands full with a very good North Carolina team.
They're talented. They're fast. They can score the basketball at an elite level. And I looked at their schedule, and I thought we played a tough schedule. But you look at who they played, it's Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Michigan State, Duke 3 times. You're talking about all the number 1 and 2 seeds in the tournament. And so, yeah, they would have liked to win some of those games, but those are really good teams. So Coach Davis has done a great job holding them together through some tough losses, and they're playing their best basketball, which you want to do. That's a sign of a really good coach when your team plays its best basketball in March. And I think North Carolina is playing its best basketball in March.
The Dutch Oven is just one of a kind. We love him on Coast to Coast with that fresh dew. And they're in big trouble tonight. I mean, look, it is like it's automatic that North Carolina, after they have been so abused up to the minute. We're sitting here right now just bashing their coach for no reason whatsoever because it's fun. And they're just, no one wants them in this tournament. They have no reason. Everyone's just like, they're the worst. They should have, blah, blah. And then they're just going to rake. They're going to rake. They're going to win tonight. They're going to win on Thursday. They're going to win on Saturday. They're going to win next weekend. Count on it.
I'm with you. Well, I don't know if I'm with you because I think that obviously you want San Diego State to win.
I do.
Because
they have no chance.
But I would love to see San Diego State win tonight, but there's a problem. I don't think they're going to. I think that North Carolina is going to win, and they're going to cover this number. I think they're going to cover this number too. I think they can win by 10. Around 10-point win for North.
It's going to be ugly. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed early. I'm getting up at 5 a.m. playing ball.
And I will take them, and there you go. -4.5 for the Tar Heels with a 142.5 is the total right now. Smash City, I think, for the Tar Heels. And you're right. They'll win the next game, too. They'll go and they'll win. They'll beat Ole Miss probably on Friday, whenever that game is. So they'll win. They'll win a couple games. That's what always happens.
Every year, there's always one team every year in the first 4 that goes on a run. And it's got North Carolina written all over it.
12 of the last 13 in 12 of the last 13 years, a team that won in the first 4 got to the second weekend. Got to at least round of 32, I believe it is. So there you go. I'll get that stat straightened out for you. But it's round of 32 they've made it to off it. So they win games off of this game, and I think North Carolina's a team that can do that. Or I'll give you the first game. The 16 seeds with St. Francis, PA out of the NEC, of course, and Alabama State. I'll give you all of their numbers when we come back. And, of course, there's NIT games tonight. We don't want to forget about that. We've got NIT games, which are probably better than the St. Francis and Alabama State game that's going to happen later.
I think literally almost every NIT game tonight is better than the Alabama State St. Francis game.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's In-Game Live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, so watch the St. Francis Alabama State game be a classic and go to overtime. I won't be surprised.
It's possible. I mean, it's possible. Look, I generally, if there's somewhat of a logo, I like the NEC. Well, just because it's a Northeast conference, so I'd probably root for them. And I like that the under 500 team makes it, so 16-17 for them. They had that big upset of Central Connecticut State on their home floor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, why not? Give me the 3.5 with St. Francis, PA tonight. Let's go. And I generally like unders in these games with the 16s. Generally. This one's a little, down to 137.5. But I'd probably still take it under because watching those St. Francis games, I mean, they were in the 40s, all those tournament games in the NEC. Yeah. So I think I'm going to go with the under tonight over anything else.
Well, I'll root for him as well because I'm from Pittsburgh, and I told you I don't know where it is. I have no idea where that school is.
I saw it last night.
Where is it? Where is it?
That is in Loretto, Pennsylvania. Loretto,
Texas.
Loretto, Pennsylvania.
And I don't even know where Loretto, Pennsylvania is. It's got to be somewhere in the middle of the state.
I'm going to
I know
open
Philly
it up
and
here.
Pittsburgh pretty well. I don't know Loretto. Where in the hell is that?
It's actually that's because
30 minutes from University Park.
It is the absolute middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. It's in the middle, like it's between Pittsburgh and Harrisburg.
Yeah.
Like it's literally in the middle of Pittsburgh and Harrisburg, like right in the dead center of the state. So
Breezewood,
over there. So St. Francis of PA for you this evening.
I still think Alabama State will beat them, but I'm rooting for them.
Well, keep it under then. Alabama State can win. Just keep it under at 137.5 for us. Tomorrow we'll do, of course, more with the other first four games, which will be Mount St. Mary's and American, Xavier, and Texas at night. So
I like American and Texas, but I won't be surprised if Xavier beats them. Xavier's tough.
You, I think, are the first person I've heard this week say that you think Texas is going to win. It feels like everyone's on Xavier in that game tomorrow night. Everybody thinks
good old Sean Miller up to his cheating ways.
Well, and I think the other thought is that unlike what usually happens in Dayton, Xavier's actually a team that's like, I guess, in a drivable distance for fans to go to the game. You know, Xavier being in Ohio, you have to go over there to Dayton. So I guess people are thinking that there might be a large Xavier contingent in Dayton tomorrow night for that game. It'll be like
I
a
can
home
see
game
why
for the
people
most.
think Texas is going to lose since they lost so many games. They shouldn't be in the tournament.
Well,
when you lose 15 games, you shouldn't be in the NCAA tournament. I don't care who you are.
You shouldn't be in there.
They are giving them credit for their broke ass SEC 6-12 season. Broke ass. They are terrible, and they are in the NCAA tournament. So they're going to win. They're another team that's going to win, and then they're going to win on Friday. Watch.
And actually, it's actually not that bad of a ride. It's about just over an hour to get from the Xavier campus to Dayton. So they'll have a strong group.
Cincinnati to Dayton, it's nothing. It's
nothing. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. I mean, they can take an Uber. The kids can take an Uber home from there. I mean, pull all the money together, and you can go get smashed at the game and go watch the first four tomorrow night. All right, I have today's numbers day for you. I know how much you love numbers. I love to give you numbers. Especially you, I do this to you a lot during the NFL season.
Yes.
But I'll do it to you here for the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. The best coaches against the spread. These are coaches in the tournament. Best coaches in this tournament against the spread. Here he is. Matt Painter, believe it or not. I was stunned. And it's really because he's been around for forever. But Matt Painter, 23-14 against the spread. Sean Miller, 18-13-2. Dana Altman, 16-7-1. Dan Hurley, 15-3 against the spread as a head coach. Hubert Davis, how about this? 8-1 against the spread. And John Grosh, who of course used to be at Illinois, now at Akron with the Zips.
Gross.
He is 7-2 against the spread.
Hubert Davis doesn't know he's 9-1 because he doesn't read and he lives in a teepee. He has no Wi-Fi. He's like Bill Walton. He lives in his backyard. He's like, who is the guy? Andy Dick. He lived in a teepee and used his wife's electric and had he had a power cord going out to the heater.
On the other side of the coin, on the bad side of things, of course, if there's good coaches against the spread, there's got to be bad ones as well. Will Wade is 3-7 against the spread. Randy Bennett 6-9. Tommy Lloyd of Arizona 1-6. And then these two, I mean, are real bad. Here's Mark Few of Gonzaga, 22-31-1, but that's in the last 20 years.
Yeah, too bad he wins.
Including 10-21-1 when they're getting more than 50% of the bets, which of course they're going to be getting against Georgia this week. And the other one is my favorite, who I love going after, Rick Barnes, 11-23 against the spread.
Oh my God!
In the last 20 years, the least profitable coach in the tournament in the last 20 years is Rick Barnes, and that will happen again this year. I know they're going to leave you all hanging again. Vol Nation, Rick Barnes is going to leave you hanging one more time.
So Wofford going to cover against Tennessee is what that says.
Maybe not, maybe, but I think, they set you up for the heartbreak. They can't mess around with Wofford, can they? Now, Wofford, they played Duke this year and they scored 30 points. I think that Tennessee's, at least defensively, on par with Duke, right? Or maybe a little bit, they're a very good defensive team. I think Wofford's going to have a hard time scoring against
Tennessee. The Terriers are going to become kitty cats against Tennessee.
But after that, Tennessee gets home.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
I don't know what the guy's doing all day. What am I supposed to do? Check in? Honestly, what else you got for me before I get in trouble? I'm always in trouble.
All right. We have a 12 seed favored over a 5 seed. Okay, we have a 12 seed favored over a 5 seed, Colorado State over Memphis. Memphis is just the third 5 seed to be a dog in the last 20 years. The previous two teams, 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the spread. So they're telling you, it's a done deal, baby. Colorado State, just walk them through. Done. Over. They've already won the game.
I think Colorado's really tough in the Mountain West. And this Memphis team is better than them. So I think they're going to lose.
I'm with you. These Mountain West teams, these Mountain West teams, except San Diego State, because they went to the championship game a couple of years ago, they barf every year. All of them. Colorado State, Utah State, New Mexico. Barf. I know Boise's not here, but they do when they make it. Nevada when they make it. They all barf on themselves whenever they get in this tournament. So I expect more of the same from Colorado State. 8-9 games. Last 20 years. Underdog in the 8-9 games. 43-30-3. That's 59%. ATS. Of course, the dogs in these four are the dogs, Bulldogs of Georgia, plus 6.5 against Gonzaga, Creighton, Oklahoma, and Baylor. Those are the four dogs. And really, there's only two that I think have a chance, Scotty, and that's, for me, Creighton and Baylor. I don't really love the other two.
I agree,
think Georgia and Oklahoma
also think
get smacked.
I agree, but I think Georgia can cover because we just saw that Mark Few never covers. He just wins.
That's true. It's very true. Guy doesn't cover.
We're talking about covering spreads here, and I'm not talking about winning. We're talking about covering.
Yep.
So I think that I do not believe Oklahoma will cover against UConn, but I do think the other three have a shot, a legitimate shot. Not only that, I think Baylor will win, and I think Creighton will win. I'm worried about Chucky Hepburn only, and then and I won't deny Louisville's good because of him. But I just don't see how they stop this Creighton team with Kalkbrenner and the great point guard that they have that's 60 years old. He's been playing at the school for 42 years. He's been the chancellor, the dean, the athletic director, the starting point guard for over 20 years. He's got 4 children. He has 5 cars, a beautiful house with at least 15 acres. He's got steer.
I guess you have to have steer if you're in that part of the country. You have to have steer. Is that just, you had to throw that in? Steer for them. Odds to win it here. Now that we know the brackets, I never got to give you this yesterday. Who are the favorites to cut down the nets at the end of it all and eliminate the other 67 teams? Duke and Florida now both plus 350. Auburn, who was favorites for a while at plus 425. Then Houston. Alabama, Tennessee, Michigan State, St. John's, Iowa State, Texas Tech. Those are your favorites to win.
Yeah, I see everyone thinks it's going to be Duke and Florida. I'm kind of, I'm okay with whatever. I'm more leaning, for me, is Duke, Houston, Tennessee, and Michigan State.
I really like that Michigan State number. I've even seen it. I know there it says 25. I've seen it in around 30.
Do you know that every year they've been at 2, they went to the Final Four? I think that's about accurate.
I think that if he had chalked it out, and I think if they played Auburn, I think they could beat Auburn if they played them in that region. So I'm with you. I think Michigan State's a nice one.
I'm concerned about their scoring, but other than that, they're very big and very physical and very tough defensively. So, look, I don't deny that St. John's is incredible defensively. That's it. I think they're an incredible full-court press team. But, Rick Pitino's had tremendous success in getting teams into the tournament, getting teams to the Final Four, without a doubt. But it's been a long time since he's done it. So people just think that St. John's is going to waltz into the Final Four. I'm leery of it. I want them to. Yeah. I'm rooting for them. I hope they get there. I really do. But everyone thinks it's automatic. They're playing Florida in the regional final, and I don't think anything's automatic. I mean, in fact, the 2 in that thing could be gone by the first weekend.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, former Iowa coach Fran McCaffrey joined Coach Young and talked about the hardest types of teams to prep for rounds 1 and 2 of the NCAA tournament on his Betting Above the Rim podcast on SportsGrid.
If you had a one-day prep, you get through round 1, you're going to round 2. Who were the toughest, or who do you think now are the toughest coaches to prepare for with only 1 day to prep from round 1, let's say round 2?
Well, I think the hardest thing is the complexity of what they do, whether it be they change defenses or they play a matchup or they press you, because not a lot of teams play zone, nor do a lot of teams press. All right. Now, obviously, the obvious is, do they have 2 or 3 guys that are elite? Because they're going to be a handful. But how are they going to defend you? And how do you get your guys ready? Okay, they're going to switch everything. They're going to be ultra physical. They're that team that's going to foul you 5 times a possession. And the game is going to be a bloodbath, just a fist fight. Those are the hardest teams, I think, to prepare for.
Fans can find the full Betting Above the Rim podcast episode where Coach talks to Fran McCaffrey and gave his thoughts on the first 4 on the SportsGrid On Demand YouTube page, as well as wherever you get your podcast. Don't miss it. Betting Above the Rim with Coach James Young and Fran McCaffrey, the former Iowa head coach who's looking to keep coaching, and he talks about all that on the podcast. Check it out as soon as you can.
Absolutely. Nice job by Coach there with that. All right, we have other games tonight besides the first 4 games in Dayton. How about the NIT getting started tonight? You got to be kidding me. Let's go. Some NIT action, and we'll start with the early games. Kent State making the trip upstate in New York to St. Bonnie's, -4.5 for the Bonnies here. Jacksonville State into Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech -6.5, there. 6.5 for Georgia Tech. Chattanooga visits Middle Tennessee State with the Blue Raiders -1.5. And St. Louis and Arkansas, I love this game, -5.5 for Arkansas State.
Yeah, look, I think St. Bonnie will win that game against Kent State. I think they'll find it tough against an East Coast team, as opposed to these MAC games that they play all year and ring up all these wins against. I always say it's like a high school league to me. No disrespect. It's just disrespect. I just don't respect it. You know what I mean? I think Jacksonville State's going to beat Georgia Tech outright. I think Georgia Tech is very average. I'll give them this. They play in a big conference that nobody respects, right? So, and you're 17 and 16, they shouldn't even be in this tournament. I like Chattanooga over Middle Tennessee. Chattanooga always gets involved, don't they, at one level or another, whether it's in the NCAAs or whether it's in this. They're always in something, and they're always winning. I like Arkansas State, believe it or not, over the Billikens. And I know there's 3 other games. It just never ends.
It never ends. Wichita State makes the trip to Stillwater, and I guess you're allowed to be under 500 and be in the NIT now, because Oklahoma State's 15 and 17 this year. I'll take Wichita State. The Shockers getting the points. Cal State Northridge getting 7.5 in Palo Alto against the Tree and Stanford. And then UC Riverside also getting a lot of points at Santa Clara. Man, those Big West teams getting no respect late night with some big spreads.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the points, but playing at Iva's tough, but not against that team. I'm going to take the risk with you, even though they're a better team. They're playing in Stillwater, which won't be easy, even though Oklahoma State sucks. I like Stanford at home. I really do over Northridge. I'm sorry. You cannot lose to Northridge. And, I mean, you have to cover, too. You got to beat them by 10 or more. I mean, you can't even go to class. Then you have to go into hiding if you lose to Northridge. And then I think Santa Clara beats Riverside, but I don't think they cover. Riverside's tough. And I think that's going to be the best game tonight. I think that'll be a wild game. I like Riverside to cover the number. In fact, they could upset them outright.
They could upset them outright. I like Riverside tonight in that matchup. So there you go, NIT. I'll have more games for you tomorrow, by the way. There's also another full slate. Dayton's playing FAU. St. Joe's is playing UAB. The Anteaters against Northern Colorado. That's a hell of a game. Northern Colorado and the Anteaters.
Northern Colorado's they are as good as Irvine. They are really good. They're not NCAA good because, they got to get North Carolina in the tournament.
Yes, that's very true. So we will do all of that going on with the NIT. Okay, tomorrow, of course, we will go through all the Thursday games. Now, we're going to be on Thursday during a lot, so I want to make sure we get those afternoon games. We go through those a lot before we get set for the Madness the next day. So we'll do a lot of NCAA tournament tomorrow here on C2C. All right, how about hockey?
Everybody loves hockey.
Everybody loves hockey. Buffalo beat the Bruins in overtime last night, 3-2. Tampa beat the Flyers. Devils beat Columbus again. That's like the second time they beat them in a week. Not good for the Jackets as they're trying to chase that last spot. You got the over with Toronto and Calgary with a 6-2 game. That was an over that came through. And the Wild, small dog at home, beat the Kings in St. Paul.
We hit that Tampa puck line, Devils, and the Toronto over. And, I'll take it.
Of course, we'll always take it. Always have to take it. All right, next. One thing, the Penguins are going to be part of the Global Series next year. Going to Sweden. They're going to play the Nashville Predators.
They're sending them there for prison because they've been so awful.
Nothing's wrong with a nice November week trip to Sweden in the middle of November. I mean, go take the trip over there and have yourself a good time. It breaks up.
My buddy told me he was moving to Switzerland. I said, "Nice knowing you."
Moving to Switzerland.
I mean, a lot of people are leaving this country. They don't like the politics.
Yes.
You got people moving all the time. I see a different person every day. Rosie and others have all left the country.
A lot of people on the move. I'm
just glad they got Conor McGregor some airtime at the White House. It's important to get him in on St. Ferrall's Day doing a press conference in the White House. He's such a huge political
Did
figure.
You see him in the room with the podium and the press secretary? And you could tell
suits.
You could tell she didn't want him talking at that microphone. And they all started, all the press that was there started asking him questions. So he just moseys himself behind that podium and he just starts talking and the sweat coming down. Nothing really cracked. The sweat was coming down her face. What is this dude going to say here? I got Conor McGregor in the White House at a microphone. This could go all kinds of bad. And thankfully they got out of there fairly unscathed. Hockey tonight, tons of games. Let's get one in before the break, and then we'll do the rest. And it's a good one for us. Well, look at this line. The Islanders are favored at the PPG Hockey Night in Pittsburgh against the Penguins. You got to be kidding me.
Come on.
-120 it's at now. Even money for the Pens at a 5.5.
It's got to be the Penguins. They're on fire, and they're at home at PPG, and Sid's on fire. It's got to be the Penguins.
Make it 5 in a row for the Penguins tonight against the Islanders. Why not? All right, I'll give you the rest afterwards, including Detroit
then they'd
and
both
Washington.
be 4 points out of a playoff spot, right? The Islanders and Penguins if the Penguins win.
Well, there's
Depending
a lot of those teams playing tonight. The Rangers are playing. Ottawa's playing. A lot of those teams in the mix are also playing tonight. So they got to lose too.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Goody said it. Our buddy Goodman said it first. Then now you're saying Thamel is saying it as well.
Yeah, that Indiana is targeting this Darian DeVries to be the next head coach at the University of Indiana. They're targeting him.
It's Indiana University. They're so bad that you call it University of Indiana. They're so bad they've lost their Indiana University status.
So this guy, obviously, this was his first year in West Virginia. He was with Drake the 4 years before that, made the tournament 3 out of the 4 years. He was an assistant at Creighton for 17 years before that. This guy's an Iowa guy through and through, played at Northern Iowa, grew up in Iowa.
He should go to Iowa.
You're right. Like why aren't they not, or does he, maybe Indiana's offering more money?
Iowa has no money.
Indiana's offering more money. Yeah, Iowa's got no money, because this guy, you read this resume, and this guy would be like a perfect guy to be the Iowa Hawkeye head coach. What?
Perfect guy, but they can't afford
problem?
him.
And I could already tell that you're not. This doesn't inspire you. Hoosier hire is not going to inspire you. You're not going to like this.
I'd rather have Bob Knight's wife coach Indiana. I'm not kidding.
Bob Knight's wife. All right, we got more hockey to do.
She's still alive. God bless her. I think they should give her the job.
Senators are in Montreal against the Canadiens. Sens minus $1.40. Montreal plus 120 now, and a 5.5.
But I'll take the plus money with the Habs at the Bell Center.
There you go. The Rangers are the team in that spot. You were saying before the Penguins would get to 4 points. Well, that's if the Rangers lost. They're at home against the Flames, laying the lumber here tonight, minus 260, plus 210 for Calgary, and a 5.5.
I'm on that 210. They'll beat the Rangers tonight at that price. Watch what happens. The Rangers will F this up nice and juicy. Baconator.
The Red Wings are in D.C. against the Caps. Caps minus $1.70 at home, plus 145 now for the Wings, and a 6.5.
2 for Ovi tonight. He'll be 6 away.
I was going to say that, too. I was going to just say to you, 2 for Ovi tonight. I got to play it now. Ovi to score 2 goals for the Caps this evening. The Blues are in Nashville against the Predators. The Predators' season is so bad, they've already started to look up hotels in Sweden for November when they play the Penguins. They have absolutely nothing to do with these games. Blues minus $1.15, slight road favorite, minus 105 for Nashville, and a 5.5.
I like the Blues, and I screw both of them, honestly.
Yeah. The Ducks are in Dallas against the Stars. The heavy lumber game of the night. Minus 360 for Dallas, plus 280 for the quack, and 6.5.
Yeah, the Ducks are falling apart. I'll take the lay in the goal and a half at minus 130 even is I can live with that price. I'm not paying $3.55 for anything.
Seattle's in Chicago. This awful year for the Blackhawks. Can't get over fast enough. It's Kraken minus $1.50, plus 130 for the Hawks, and a 5.5.
How about the Blackhawks? 2 straight wins at home? Could it be the first time all year? Give me the Blackhawks. Seattle's average at best.
The Utah Hockey Club is one of the 4 teams within 2 points of each other for the last playoff spot in the West. They are in Edmonton tonight against the Oilers. As of right now, Oilers minus $1.56, plus 130 for the Hockey Club, and a 6.5.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going oil. Oil can Boyd at the Rogers. Forget about it.
And finally, Vancouver is also one of those teams. 4 teams within 2 points for the last spot. They are home for the Jets tonight. Winnipeg road favorite, minus $1.56, plus 130 for Vancouver, and a 5.5.
Honestly, the Jets, I think, are the play. The Canucks aren't good at home, and they're trying to stay above water. I like the Jets still.
There you go. Hockey.
Everybody loves hockey
for tonight. Everybody does love hockey. Everybody also loves baseball, and they did get underway this morning for real in Tokyo, as the Dodgers and the Cubs are there. They played this morning. They're going to play again tomorrow morning, same time, just after 6 o'clock East. 4-1, the Dodgers beat the Cubbies this morning. Yamamoto went 5 innings, 3 hits, a run, 4 strikeouts. Imanaga wasn't great for the Cubs. He only went 4. He actually didn't give out. Imanaga was all right. They must have had him on a pitch count still with how early it is, because he went 4 innings, 70 pitches, and he got out of there. He did walk 4 guys. Not great. But the Cubby bullpen, particularly Ben Brown, lit up by the Dodgers. Ohtani had a couple of runs scored. He had a couple hits. So often the running the Dodgers are in their quest to, as we said at the top of the show, 125 wins minimum for the Dodgers.
How about U.S. Steel beats them tomorrow and Sasaki barfs in his first start for the Dodgers?
I was going to say, minus 155 I've got for the Dodgers right now, plus $1.30 for the Cubs, where I'm looking, and a 7.5 total. How about the split in Tokyo with the Cubs in the morning with the Steel Mill?
City.
How about this too? Can someone homer? I had no homers this morning.
Can we get a tater? I mean, this
somebody
is
hit a homer tomorrow morning? Can they
nobody can hit a long ball.
Up? Come on. I care a low total 7.5.
Come on.
Gotta have some home. You don't leave Tokyo with no home. Come on. We gotta get some homers.
Ring the bell.
Gotta ring the bell. I'm playing Ohtani again. I don't care. I'm going in, and hopefully he'll just get me back what he didn't win me this morning for that. I have some other things for you with baseball, those power rankings, and then, yes, the food portion of today's baseball program. Some of the new food items that are going to be in some of these ballparks on opening day. Some of them right up your alley. So we will discuss
those at the ballpark. Yes. Come on,
especially popcorn. Love popcorn.
God, I love the popcorn.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun. I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Everybody loves leftovers, but there is spew news.
Yes, so that didn't take long. The targeting DeVries that I told you before when we started last segment, now every college basketball guy says he is the next head coach. Goody, Rothstein,
He's
everybody
accepted
says
the deal.
That this guy is the new head coach of Indiana. He's leaving West Virginia.
West Virginia, what they've been through.
That's a tough couple days for them. Shafted out of the tournament, and then they lose their head coach. Because you got to think, if they make the tournament, honestly, if they make the tournament, there's a good chance he's not going to be, because Indiana ain't going to want to wait. I mean, unless they really zeroed in on him and that was going to be their guy, I don't know. It's just weird how things work.
Watch his 2 or 3 best players follow him to Bloomington.
It's possible. That's what a lot happens now in the NIL days. All right, here we go. Leftovers for you. MLB power rankings with the season starting, according to people who think they know. And, of course, the Dodgers, who are already one game up on the rest of the league. They're there. The Phillies, the Braves, the Mets, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks, the Red Sox. Red Sox ahead of the Yankees. Orioles ahead of the Yankees. Wow. Everyone. Well, the Yankees got no player. They're losing players every hour. So I guess I can understand it. The Yankees have no players.
Fine. We don't need anyone.
Don't need any of them at all. Okay. Also, the Giants, the San Francisco Giants, sell 10% of their team to private equity group 6th Street. Everybody does this now, Scotty. Everybody is selling like 10% chunks of their franchise off to people. Just amazing that this continues to happen across all the sports now. It is almost opening day, and that means it is time for some new food items to hit the ballparks this year. This first one I got for you, you can get not only in San Francisco at the Giant games, but yes, at PNC for the Buccos this year, they will also have the popcorn bat right there. So you get the bat. What is that? A 60? How many ounces is that bat? I gotta get in there for this.
It's a 98 ounce souvenir bat.
98 ounce souvenir bat.
And then you eat that, and then you can crank somebody over the head with it at the game.
I mean, and they give you the refills too. So when you get that, it's like that bucket you got at Jerry's World. Then you go fill it up.
Yeah.
You get even more in there.
I love that. They have that at the link too. The bottomless popcorn.
Bottomless popcorn. And how about this one at the Royals games this year in Kansas City? The Z-Man sandwich. What do we got on this? Look at this thing. Slow smoked brisket, smoked provolone, topped with 2 crispy onion rings on the toasty Kaiser roll. The Z-Man sandwich. Wow. Look at that.
That just looks fantastic. I've been there to a million games. I need one of those sandwiches. Send me one of those. What is the problem over here?
TGL playoffs. They're hitting balls into screens tonight.
Whoa.
Down in West Palm. Huge upset last night. The New York Golf Club upset the number 1 seed LA team with Morikawa and Tommy Fleetwood missed a gimme putt. What a loser. So New York
that little 4-footer, you lose.
A little 4-footer and it came right out. So New York will face the winner of tonight's other semifinal, Atlanta and the Bay Club. So that is happening this evening. Colorado will have Pro Day on April the 4th. Dion says all 32 teams will be there and it'll be on NFL Network. I also saw him say he doesn't want to play a spring game. He wants to play another team in a spring game.
And Syracuse wants to play him.
Yeah, Fran Brown said, I'll come on out there. We'll come out to Boulder for a few days. Maybe the wave of the future. And finally, the NCAA is going to let athletes negotiate NIL deals before enrollment. I got news for the NCAA.
That'll go well.
That's already happening. Okay? That's happening already. So don't kid yourselves with that.
All right. Ferrall finished. Man stabbed to death by a group of teens outside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Sounds like a real safe place to go to a game. Did you see the guy in New York City eat a live rat? That was fantastic. I mean, that is just unbelievable. A Mr. Softy opens their first ever brick and mortar on Strong Island. Everyone's going to be going to the Mr. Softy store. Everyone loves Mr. Softy with sprinkles. GTD is next with the Kevin Walsh. Get my app, search Ferrall. It's badass. We'll see you tomorrow at 3 on Coast to Coast.
Is on. The stakes are high, but the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer. Couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun. I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on Sports.